How Jurgen Klopp will set up Liverpool this season with the new signings in Alexis, Allister and Dominik, Szoboszlai. Today we're going to be looking at all the formations, the tactical side of the game as well, and why I think Liverpool have done quite well in the market so far, but potentially have got things to still fix and to still do. Right, let's dive straight in. Of course, Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp have played a 4-3-3 to get some great success, but this 4-3-3 has changed. The back end of the season, we saw Trent Alexander-Arnold moving from the right back position inside and inverting and partnering Fabinho at the base of midfield. This led Liverpool to really up their game and go on a great run of form at the back end of the season, with Trent Alexander-Arnold assisting, controlling the tempo, having the most touches, most assists, most chances created for Liverpool. This inverted role is the next kind of step in Trent Alexander-Arnold's development. I think long term he will potentially move into that kind of number 8 attacking midfield position, but right now holding, controlling the tempo is doing wonders for Liverpool's game. In terms of signings, of course, we've got the two main signings on screen, number 8 Dominik Szoboszlai and Alexis Allister. Two really interesting signings. Alexis Allister brought in from Brighton, who provides that kind of ability to roam off the ball and receive between the lines. Of course, Dominik Szoboszlai moving from RB Leipzig after spending a lot of time in Salzburg with Red Bull, who's an attacking midfielder who is so technical, and that level of technical ability is needed for Liverpool. I think Liverpool have moved away from the Jordan Henderson, Wijnaldum midfield to now actually the 3-8 concept. You know, the concept that we see Man City play with, we see with Arsenal play with, you know, of course with Odegaard and potentially Kai Havertz next season, but having two central midfielders operating an attacking midfield, using that inverted fullback inside. Of course, at Arsenal, Zinchenko; at City, John Stones; and at Liverpool now, Trent Alexander-Arnold. It does bring a few questions, you know, with the future of Andy Robertson, let's say, but we do have some solutions for that as we go forward. Because again, I wouldn't say Andy Robertson's skill set is kind of being a holding left back, a centre-back that plays in that position like a Nathan Ake. He's a player that absolutely excels in the final third, providing width as the forward ahead of him tucks inside to get balls into the box. But we'll talk about a little bit later on. I want to focus first on Dominik Szoboszlai, a player that I've been watching for a few seasons now that just has an elegance about him, a glide, an ability to move across the pitch that you don't see in many individuals. It reminds me of Kaká, Julian Draxler back in the day, a player that is arguably a little bit tall. You don't expect them to have that explosive ability to pull something out of the back with a skill or, you know, a move. The signing is an interesting one, 22 years old. There's a lot of value there. And we're looking at this season with Leipzig in the Bundesliga. It was probably his best season. I think his form really picked up towards the back end of the season, finishing off the campaign with 6 goals and 8 assists. 14 direct goal involvements in the Bundesliga, more than the likes of Kingsley Coman, Jude Bellingham, Joshua Kimmich and Sadio Mane. Quite impressive for a player that was operating basically off the right-hand side, moving into an inside position. We could see the fluidity of Szoboszlai, and I think we'll see that of Liverpool with, you know, Allister and Szoboszlai switching positions, or alternatively a little bit more of a creative midfield. We could see at times that Allister plays 6, and someone like Curtis Jones comes in with Szoboszlai in that sort of, you know, in the inside positions, and they can rotate. But his ability to, you know, not only get on the ball, to make things happen, his vision, his technique is really impressive. You know, long passes, short passes, ability to thread through balls in there. He's a threat from range as well, which I think will really add to Liverpool. I think at times Liverpool struggled last season when they got to the final third before Trent inverted and it kind of changed. But it was when Liverpool were kind of playing their more traditional 4-3-3 structure, let's say with Jordan Henderson and Harvey Elliott. But when they got to the final third, they pushed the fullbacks on, they threw the midfielders a little bit higher and so forth. Liverpool struggled in these moments to break teams down, and what we saw was them at times, the weaker underbelly of Liverpool get exposed with long balls into the channels, or teams working passing through them, or no pressure on the ball, then a ball over the top of the defence and someone like an Ollie Watkins running in behind. Liverpool struggled at times with this, and I think one of the big things when they got to the final third, sometimes it got a little bit slow, and I think having someone like Dominik Szoboszlai and having Alexis McAllister in the final third now, and as we mentioned, changing the kind of the setup will give them a lot more creativity in this zone. And that's not to say that Harvey Elliott won't play this right central midfield role, but Szoboszlai not only has that ability to find the through balls, to a Salah running in behind the defence, Gakpo in behind the defence, or even, a Darwin Nunez running in behind, but also that threat from range. He's got a really wicked shot on him that he's hits with a lot of pace, a lot of technique. It dips, it moves, it catches goalkeepers out. So expect the unexpected with Dominik Szoboszlai, and that's what I think his signing really brings, unpredictability into the final third. Has an eye for a goal, but he hits his shots on target. You're looking at last season in the Bundesliga, 48% of his shots hit the target. Comparing that to Liverpool's squad, that's better than both Darwin Nunez and Mohamed Salah. I think there's a goal scorer in there, I really do. I think there's some really technical finishes I've seen from inside the area, using the outside of his right foot from the left-hand side of the box. I think one of the big things that strikes me when I see him finish is he finishes quite high, finishes into the top corners with power, and it's very, very impressive. And I think he will add goals to his game as he develops under Jurgen Klopp. Of course, his game's massively developed playing for Leipzig and Salzburg, but Jurgen Klopp is obviously one of the best coaches in the world. We could see further ability there. The other thing I do like about him as well is he's a good crosser. So, the concept that Pep Linders speaks about and Jurgen Klopp speaks about is kind of the midfielders operating on the outside, being, operating in that kind of Matt Salah half winger, half central midfield role where they can provide width from the final third. And the thing with Szoboszlai, he's got that quality from the crossing position to find a teammate. He's got great delivery from wide areas, a good set piece taker as well from wide free kicks and from corners, but from open play, really, really good. From the right hand side, it's kind of those measured balls into the box to really hit the target, which would be perfect for someone like Diogo Jota or Diaz or even Darwin Nunez arriving at the back post. And then if he's drifting from the left hand side, he's got a really good ability to not only go down the wide area and then use his outside of a boot again to cross his right foot, or alternatively a little fake onto the left, shift it back and then clip it to the back post, again something that Salah really likes. Dominik Szoboszlai makes a lot of sense for me in there. I think Liverpool still need one player in midfield. I'm still not sure whether Fabinho is at the level he was before. I don't think he's at that same ball-winning, tenacious, lighthouse standard that he was when he joined Liverpool, when Liverpool went on a really dominant period of winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League. So that'd be an area where I'd be looked for recruitment, similar at this left centre-back position. If Robertson's going to be used in a deeper area, is there a better ball player from that position, a better cover defender? We've seen Konate really evolve as a cover defender as Trent's gone inside. Konate really defends that right channel really, really well. But I do think those two positions are up for potential grabs. Alternatively, we could see, Fabinho or a similar player dropping to a half-back position, McAllister moving into number 6, and then, of course, it operating slightly different with a Diaz or a Jota inside, and then, again, the front 5 made up of the left-back, the right winger, central midfielder, left winger tucking inside, and the centre-forward could be an option with McAllister dropping and Fabinho dropping. That is a tactical option for Liverpool. That's something that would allow them to get Andy Robertson high up the pitch and allow them to push higher and distribute. The other idea could be Robertson operating a little bit deeper in that classic kind of left-back position. McAllister playing as the defensive midfielder, again getting on the ball with Trent. That's two brilliant ball players. Some of the stuff we've seen from Brighton, getting out of pressure using their kind of base box, is something that Trent and McAllister could do. Beat any line of pressure and then get through the lines, which would allow Liverpool to play Curtis Jones, who I thought had a really good end to the season for Liverpool's probably best player, you'd say, or up there with some of the best players in terms of the goal scoring that he brought to the team, but also the creativity and playmaking. And I think that midfield 4 of McAllister, Trent, Szoboszlai and Jones is super dominant, is super effective at opening up teams. It's a lot of technical quality in the deep areas, overloading the opposition with the back sort of 6 players. Again, could allow a slight more advancement of Robertson, with McAllister potentially dropping to that left half, classic Tony Kroos position to receive. There's a lot of fluidity for Liverpool. I think the other thing that I like about Liverpool's squad right now, with kind of how it's been built and where it's going, is the quality in attack is pretty ridiculous when you think about it. Let's just throw Fabinho back into the number 6 position for argument's sake. But you're looking at each of the forward positions. As we mentioned before, Diaz and Jota out wide. It's two pretty decent left wingers that would start for most Premier League sides on the left wing. Then number 9, you've got a false 9 and Cody Gakpo, but then you've obviously got Darwin Nunez in. It's a big season for Darwin Nunez. I still think he's got the quality. I still think he's got the talent, but needs to improve his finishing and his hold-up play. Something that Jurgen Klopp's worked with strikers before. You look at Lewandowski, his growth under Jurgen Klopp. It will come in time, I do believe. You're looking at the right wing position as well. Of course, Harvey Elliott, started playing on that right-hand side as an inverted winger. Could be utilised in that position, moving Salah to the number 9 area in certain games. Creativity on both the flanks in Diaz and Elliott, the 2 free 8s to support Salah. Again, you're creating a really good base for Liverpool to play through the lines, operating in a really dynamic shape to break people down. You're looking at Salah's goal involvements last season, 31. His second best season in terms of assists in the Premier League. There's some serious depth. You could argue that Liverpool have got 6 quality forwards now, plus the midfielders in there with the recruitment. I think there's a few players to buy, a deep-lying midfielder. Ideal would be someone like Bruno Guimaraes. Probably not going to happen because Newcastle wouldn't let him go. And then signing a left-sided centre-back, a deeper player that could rotate with Robertson and get on the ball in those areas. But Liverpool look good for next season. I expect them to be challenging Manchester City and Arsenal for the Premier League title. Let me know in the comments below. I've been Statman Dave. Subscribe if you're new. We'll see you later.